We reserve a few minutes every Sunday to discuss trends that you'd expect from reading Bible prophecy. We are considered futurists. That means we interpret the unfulfilled portions of the book of Daniel, the book of the Revelation, all other unfulfilled prophecy as future events that will occur in a literal, physical, apocalyptic global context. Biometrics, artificial intelligence, cashless commerce, the manipulation of human DNA, global government, the exponential growth of human knowledge, the rebirth of Israel as a nation. These are all things that are prophetic in the Bible, and so you would expect trends in the world in those areas. Now, I've been spending a great deal of time suggesting that vaccine passports are a trend that you would expect. I'm not talking about the vaccines themselves or whether they should be taken or not or mandatory or not. These updates are not medical or political. I'm talking about how the mandates sound ominously like what the Bible predicts in the 13th chapter of the Revelation. There we read, all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, must receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. No one will be able to buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. If you've been following the news, you know that citizens are going to be mandated to participate in a system by which they must produce proof of compliance in order to be allowed to work or shop or dine or attend entertainment. And without proof, their livelihood and lifestyles are going to be restricted. And this isn't the mark of the beast. It's different from what we read about in the Revelation, of course, but it's the same sort of system. It's a system in which you have to prove what the government says you need to prove in order to have certain benefits of being a citizen. And governments are ramping up their efforts in this. So let me read you some things I came across. There's tons of these. The LA City Council voted 13-0 to create vaccine requirement for indoor public spaces. Councilman Mitch O'Farrell was quoted, "This is not a vaccine mandate. We're not going to deny anyone the ability to access essentials, food, medicine, etc., regardless of vaccination." Let me stop there for just a minute. I don't even want to know he's thinking about that. Do you? He said, we're not mandating this now. We'll let people eat. Then he goes on and says, but what is immoral is choosing not to get vaccinated, choosing to listen to some delusional rant on Twitter. LA City Attorney Mike Feuer has already endorsed an idea he calls no shots, no admission. He said, those who reject the responsibility should temporarily lose society's privileges until their reckless behavior no longer endangers the rest of us. Arthur L. Kaplan, professor of bioethics and the founding head of New York University School of Medicine's Division of Medical Ethics, and Dorrit R. Reese, a professor of law at UC Hastings College of Law, suggested either the HHS secretary or the FDA commissioner should edit the emergency use authorizations to say that refusing the vaccine may lead to one or more of the following consequences: loss of employment, limits on access to education, or limits on access to businesses and private enterprises. California Public Health Officer Dr. Tomas Aragon said, at first people will have to bring their vaccination card with them, but we anticipate that in the future the solution will be digital, meaning people could potentially show proof of vaccination on their mobile phone. As of right now, U.S. citizens only have a vaccination card that they either get stamped or receive a sticker once they get their dose or doses. Fraudulent copies of vaccination cards are popping up everywhere. Ramesh Raskar, a professor at MIT Media Lab, has been leading an effort to develop a solution that includes both a paper certificate that anyone can carry, as well as a free digital pass that works even without cell service. We are going to emerge from the pandemic with a new currency for health, he said. In Oregon, Governor Kate Brown plans to start deploying up to 1,500 National Guard troops next week to hospitals across the state to support healthcare workers dealing with spiraling cases driven by the spread of the Delta variant. The Department of Homeland Security, this is just out Friday, released an advisory summarizing the current terrorism threat, and they mentioned grievances over public health safety measures and perceived government restrictions are potential threats. And they go on to say that, well, basically what it boils down to is this: people who are against vaccines and who perhaps express their opinion can be considered domestic terrorists because they're contributing to the death of other Americans. So, a universal vaccine passport, that's not the mark of the beast. What I'm talking about, however, is that the leaders of the world want to establish some system like what the Revelation predicts, where citizens will have to prove something. In this case, it's proof of vaccination, because that's the direction government is going. But I think we all understand that once this type of system is in place, it'll be used for more than just vaccine passports. It'll be used for whatever any particular government wants to use it for, and they'll say, well, today, if you want to participate in society, this is what we want you to be doing. So very interesting. Again, we're right on the edge here. I'm not talking politics or vaccines, or that is that's what's generating it. But what's behind it is this idea from the Revelation that one day there will be a system of social credit like this that the Antichrist controls. I can't make this stuff up. It's so unbelievable to me what's happening in the world. Now, of course, we believe the resurrection and rapture of the church is imminent. It could happen at any time. Nothing needs to happen before Jesus returns in the clouds to resurrect the dead in Christ and to change in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, living believers. Are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready, stay ready, keep looking up, because ready or not, Jesus is coming.